Dodgers win it all. We got week 10 coming up. Basketball's in full swing. That and more on Goode Sports. Thanks for joining us. I'm Randy Goode, and as always, please hit that subscribe button if you like it. Just quickly go hit that subscribe. It means a lot to us. It helps us, it motivates us to keep going and putting out the most content that we can. We really appreciate all of the people that are watching us. We just have lots of viewers right now, and it's growing more and more, and we really appreciate it. So just quickly do that if you don't mind. We'd greatly appreciate it. I am joined alongside Trent Snead, but I want to first start off with the World Series. And I said this previously, but I just want to again commend. I hope this gets to Freddie Freeman because they need to make shirts Freddie freaking Freeman. What he did was incredible. And looking into his story more and more, I just think it's so cool. You see his relationship with his dad and all the time that he spent with his dad, and he was able to celebrate with him. But he also honors his mom every day, wears the long sleeve shirt because his mom had skin cancer and unfortunately passed away, and he does that in honor of her. He also has a necklace with some of her hair in the necklace, and he wears it every game. The guy just seems like he's a really good family man, and to see what he did to pull the Dodgers out of what could have easily been a Game 1 loss that could have derailed them at home. He wins it with a grand slam. Then he comes back and hits a home run, comes back and hits a home run, comes back and hits a home run. Good job to you. Congratulations to Dodger Nation. You guys have been right there for many years, winning it, not winning it, but good for you. This was your year. Hats off to you guys. Congratulations. Moving on to the NFL, we've got Week 10 coming up. Lots of things. You're just past, the mid-season. And I thought it'd be good to maybe talk about running backs. Who's right now the running backs that are playing the best? Trent is joining us again. Trent, what are your thoughts? Who do you see as playing excellent and at the top of their game in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, with Christian McCaffrey being out so far this year, sounds like we may get him back here soon.
Oh, Lord, help
which would
us.
be electric.
Yes.
To be honest with you, it's been quite an interesting backfield this year.
Yeah.
First of all, I think the big thing that I really want to point out is our top 3 running backs this year were all free agents.
Isn't that crazy?
Okay.
Yeah.
And first of all, signing running backs for a second contract. Yeah. A lot of people were shying away from it for a very long time. And we had some elite running back talent hit the free agent market this year because teams were scared to sign them to extension contracts. And, man, they are performing.
Paid off for a few teams.
They are performing. We got Derrick Henry, who's at 1,052 yards, Saquon Barkley at 925, and Josh Jacobs at 762.
Yep.
Just to be 100% honest with you, man, I'm going to be a straight homer here. I'm taking Saquon day in and day out right now.
Well, Saquon does two things. One, he can catch the ball a little better than Derrick Henry can.
Well, Derrick Henry doesn't catch the ball at all.
So you're looking at, you only have 100 less yards overall with Saquon Barkley, but yet receiving yards, he does a much better job. So he's a much better threat. So I would definitely take Saquon Barkley as well.
Yeah, and we've also rested Saquon multiple times. I don't know how many times Derrick Henry's been rested. I haven't watched the Ravens games that close.
Right.
But I can tell you that there was multiple times that we rested Saquon. We could have played him out for even more yards.
Right now, Derrick Henry has 11 more attempts. So it's close to, another attempt or two per game.
And I think Baltimore hasn't had their bye yet. Let me look. So if Baltimore doesn't have their bye yet, this is even more incredible.
Yeah, so you got Josh Jacobs. He's up there too. He's had a really good year. There is a step between second and third. Jordan Mason is 4th right now in rushing yards.
Wow. Oh, my gosh.
And he has missed almost 2 full games.
Yeah.
Jordan. Actually, it's almost 3 now because last week they didn't play. So Jordan Mason's had a really good year.
So this is actually skewed because
the
Baltimore hasn't had their bye yet.
Yeah.
So Saquon's
is number 1.
So Saquon's number 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or right there.
Well,
he's right there. So that's It's a great year.
At this point, he's averaging, because we've only played 8 games so far, and every other team's have played 9. Wait, sorry, 10. Right,
yeah,
like 10.
They just finished week 9.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Okay, so we've only played 8 games so far. He's averaging over 125 yards a game.
Yeah, it's about that. Yep.
That's insane.
It's really good.
That's insane.
And if you took his stats and were fair to him, he'd have he'd had several more touchdowns. But the tush push always goes to Hurts, so he always loses out there.
Man, but I will say, I think there is some running backs. First of all, let's just talk about the fact that Lamar Jackson, a quarterback, he's at 505.
Yeah.
He's at 505 yards.
Yeah.
Jaden Reed, another quarterback, 459.
It's
these guys are supposed to be quarterbacks.
The last 20 years,
they're
game
running.
has changed.
They're going to have 1,000 yards running this year.
Yeah.
Jaden Reed and Lamar are going to have 1,000 yards running.
Yeah.
What is that going to say for our systems? I will say, with how hot the Bills came out, I'm really surprised that James Cook isn't performing better. That was a big one for me that I didn't really see coming. DeAndre Swift, former Eagle, out there with the Bears. They got a great O-line, not performing at the world's highest level. Joe Mixon had some injuries at the start, so I kind of see where that's at.
I thought Breece Hall would be higher up.
Oh, yeah. He was supposed to be like the 101.
Yeah,
most people thought Breece Hall was going to be the number 1 running back in the league this year.
Below Lamar.
Yeah, and he was very hyped up.
Yeah.
I will say this. Okay, so this one's an interesting one. Kyron Williams. Not that high, but I will say this. Out of all running backs this year, he has had the highest snap share out of all of them. And many people thought that Blake Corum was going to take some of the snap share away from Kyron. He's at like 99% snap share, which for running backs is unheard of these days.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Most running backs these days, a good running back, even like Saquon, is still at like 80%, 85% on average for the season. He's at like 95%.
So he also has 8 touchdowns, Kyron Williams.
Yeah.
So he's done well.
He's playing good.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara, somehow a little bit ageless there.
Yeah.
Still playing, 29 years old. And then James Conner. So
played
far,
well.
This is the first season. Don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, please don't.
Knock on some wood.
He's my only fantasy player that's
Knock
not
on some
been hurt.
wood. This is the first season he's played a full season so far.
Yeah.
Now, he will be amazed if he makes it all the way to the end.
Yeah.
He's never played a full season, but hopefully he does make it. And Chuba Hubbard, I don't think anyone saw this coming for him to be fourth. Other than Jordan Mason, this is by far the biggest surprise on this board.
And Detroit has 2 running backs that have looked really good. So they have 2 really good.
The Detroit thing's not fair, though. When you have two talented running backs, they're splitting. Both those 2, if you add their numbers up, he's at 488 and 6 something. That's 1,000 yards right there.
Yeah.
So that's just, it's not fair to those guys.
Yep. They're looking good.
Without Christian McCaffrey in the league right now, I do feel very strongly that Saquon is the best overall player.
So
he gives me the best player at running back, and he gives me rushing, and he gives me the best at receiving.
So there's a chance McCaffrey's coming back.
Okay.
If you were a GM assume he comes back and he can play, who would be your top 3 running backs in order that you would take going down the stretch into the playoffs?
I'm going into the playoffs.
Going into the playoffs, and they're all healthy.
Okay. I'm still probably going to take CMC number 1. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Saquon number 2.
Yeah.
And actually, give me Joe Mixon. He's missed some time. Missed some time.
Yeah.
But he's looked really good this year.
Yeah.
He's looked really good this year for the time that he's been playing. He had some injury scare stuff, but he's looked really good.
So.
And he catches. He's been catching this year.
And I was wondering if you're going to say Derrick Henry because he's number 1, although obviously he has that one more extra game. I wouldn't pick him either, only because he has had so much wear and tear.
Yeah.
And I know his off-season regimen, I watched that. It's like as impressive as anybody in the NFL, but he just takes a pounding, and I'm thinking by the end of the year.
I just, to be honest with you, Randy, I think in the modern NFL that we're at right now.
Yeah.
You got to have a running back that can catch the ball.
Yeah.
And he doesn't.
No.
Derrick Henry doesn't catch the ball.
Nope.
Now, I'm not saying the man doesn't have any catches.
Right.
But they have Gus not Gus Edwards. What's that kid's name? Justice Hill. they have Justice Hill for a reason. Justice Hill has a 30% snap share on the season.
Yeah.
Because they only bring him in for passing downs. Every third down, guess who's in the ballgame? Justice Hill. Yep. So, I mean, it's hard to say I'm going to take one running back and he can't catch the ball.
No. Nope, I get it. Well, let's move on now. Let's talk about receivers.
Ooh.
Receivers. Who do you got? There's been some really impressive numbers put up in some teams, but there's also been a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
You got great receivers that have been out.
There's been some killer ones. Yeah. I mean, the Mike Evans one, let's go ahead and address that.
Yeah.
I'm sad. I'm sick to my stomach. You know, honestly, Mike Evans not being able to continue his 1,000-yard record actually makes me as sick to my stomach is when I had to see the Lakers win an NBA championship. You know, I just wanted to puke.
It depends on which year for me.
I'm talking about the bubble when they beat Miami.
Okay, I'm okay with that one.
When they beat Miami in the bubble, I was just sick. You know, I was sitting there over a toilet, just dry heaving all night.
But weren't you? You weren't picked to go to the championship, so that was pretty good.
Listen,
you guys had a nice run.
Randy, we said on this podcast before, and I'll say it again. Jason Kelce once said, "Hungry dogs run the fastest, baby."
That was a good run by you guys, though.
Yeah, it was, and it was really fun to watch because that was all we had. We were glued to the TV.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. During COVID, we were all glued to it. No, we've had a lot of injuries this year. That's really, really sad to see. AJ Brown, who's probably a top 5 wide receiver, he's missed a bunch of games. Yeah. Brandon Ayuk came in really slow. As soon as he started to pick it up, got a season-ending injury for the 49ers. Even DK Metcalf currently out with injury.
I know. It's been, you got Olave's now, second concussion.
Olave, he's in the 2-0 division right now with the concussions. I mean, that kid can't take any more hits.
It's crazy.
Yeah. He actually, listen, I think with Chris Olave, I think he legitimately would consider not ever playing football again way quicker than Tua. Just because his position is so much more reliant on getting hit.
Yeah.
And it seems like that kid, he just can't not get hit.
I know.
It's just killer.
That was so sad.
Yeah.
Especially when it happened right after he came back. That's the worst.
Stephon Diggs, season-ending knee injury.
Nico Collins
been out for a long time. I think he's coming back at the end, though.
But it's just, there's been a lot of turmoil. But same question for you. You got 3 receivers in order. Where would you put them? If you got the last couple weeks in the season going into the playoffs with a healthy receiver, who would you have? What order?
Okay, can I just be 100% honest with you?
Yeah.
Are they all healthy?
They're all healthy.
Oh man, frick.
You can the ones that are able to play going forward. So like if you're out for the year, you know, you're not in it.
Oh, so we're not counting. Okay. Well, it doesn't change anything for me. Yeah. To be honest, oh man. Give me Justin Jefferson.
That'd be my number 1.
He's my number 1.
Yep.
Then I'm going to take Jamar Chase.
That'd be my number 2. Yep. The third one I think we both don't want to say, but
I don't. Okay, but this is the thing though, is I actually do want to say CeeDee Lamb. Okay. I actually like CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
Boomer Sooner, baby. Boomer Sooner, okay? Listen, he was a stud at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Got a great relationship with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Okay? And he's a stud. The only thing that bothers me about CeeDee Lamb, and he does not strike fear into any team. I just don't think it.
Yeah.
There's no team that goes out there and says, man, and maybe that's not CD's fault. Maybe that's the Dallas Cowboys' fault because they know if they lock down only CD for the day, that they don't have anything else.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a time at which I thought, man, he's going out there and people are like, oh, he's gonna put at least 2 tutties on us and like maybe 100 yards, right? This year's been rough. And the yards they're adding up, but also he's the sole option on their offense. Yeah. So it's hard for him not to have the yards.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there was a swagger that CeeDee Lamb had that I'm just not feeling this year specifically. I'm gonna still pick him for this. I'm gonna still pick him. I'm gonna go Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb.
That's who I would pick.
But man, you can make a great argument for a AJ Brown. You can make a great argument for even like a Garrett Wilson or Nico Collins. I think Nico Collins would have had probably one of the best receiver years this year if he wouldn't have got injured.
It would be interesting to see how you do, because it all depends if Diggs would have been there the whole time too, because it's hard when you're sharing. With Dell.
But he started out real hot.
He did.
Yeah, I love Tank Dell. If you just want to give me like a homer pick, give me Tank Dell. That kid's awesome, man. He's awesome. I'm glad to see. No, sorry. Let me rephrase this. I'm not glad to see that all the Texan receivers are hurt, but I am glad to see that he's going to be put on a pedestal for a couple of weeks because he's the only guy there right now.
Right.
He's a good kid. He deserves it.
All right. So I want to ask you one more question.
Okay.
Tight ends. Who right now would you say, if you could go into the playoffs?
George Kittle.
Okay. Is that what you'd say?
Yeah, I mean, it's not even a question for me.
Yeah,
to be honest with you,
because he does everything.
Because he does everything, and he's a me guy, right?
Yeah.
He's the type of guy where you could put him on any team. Yeah. He's gonna get along with the people.
Yep.
He's gonna work his butt off on both skills,
highly
blocking,
likable.
catching.
Yeah.
And you're never gonna have an issue with the guy.
Yeah.
You're never gonna have an issue. The only issue you might have is you might get a fine for wearing a Dallas
jersey.
Sucks. Jersey,
Yeah, he does do that. No doubt about that.
But no, I'm taking George every day of the week.
Yeah.
Listen, he's just way too consistent.
Yeah.
He's way too consistent.
He's having a good year,
and he's having a great year. He's at 500 yards,
and he has thus far, he has been one of the few bright spots.
Yeah,
from the receiving standpoint, and he's played hurt. So
yeah.
Okay, well let's move on. We're gonna go to a segment that we've done multiple times, and it's one of our favorites, and it's called Trent's Top Plays. Trent, here we go. Let's get into what you got.
Listen, so we got a short week this week, but to be honest with you, I think I really want to talk about some of these plays we had this week. Yes. All right, so worst plays. Not really.
Worst?
This is okay. Plays of the week. We're starting out hot. Give me just 1, 2, 3, and boom. Jaden Daniels drops back to pass, sees Austin Eckler wide open, and throws it right to the dirt 5 yards in front of him. Almost hits the ankle of his offensive lineman. That's how far it made it. What an amazing play for a guy that makes such extremely athletic plays at times. For someone who's having such a great year, you'd think it'd be a lot better. But I tell you what, if you think this play was bad, you should see his sliding technique. Have you seen that, Randy?
It's the worst.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yes.
Going on to best. Let's see
How
it.
can you not?
Man, this is my favorite play of the week. Big homer pick here. Jalen Hurts drops back for a short pass to the left. Saquon Barkley catches it in the flat. Not only makes one man miss, not only makes two man miss, but three guys makes them all miss for a reverse hurdle. I want to be very clear with the fans at home and everyone in this room today. There's a reason why you don't see people do this. It is extremely dangerous. When you have someone pinballing and you put your back to them, you may lose a lower back vertebrae. Okay,
or something else.
Yeah, I'm not
have kids.
I'm not sure how Saquon even practiced this. I'd like to see what his practice regimen was for this exact play. Yeah. Maybe he was blindfolded and was just doing this in his basement at one point. I'm not sure where he got the idea to do this, but man, it looked cool. And I tell you what, you've done something amazing as a running back when you do a move that they don't even have on Madden yet. Okay, that's how you know you're setting a whole new level. Here's another play we got for you. Dallas Cowboys punter Brian Anger. He goes back for a fake punt on their own 35-yard line. And he throws it right to the defense. Right to the defense. Man, you can't get luckier than the fact that the Falcons' defensive backs can't catch the ball. He quite literally threw it right to his hands, and the guy still dropped it. It was quite a miracle. To drop the ball, it was quite a miracle for such a terrible fake play. Somehow this play was still not as bad as Jerry signing no one in the offseason and then quoting to the media that he is all in, baby. Gotta love old Jer Bear. Moving on. Aaron Rodgers might be the play of the season. It'll go down as an argument as maybe the greatest catch of all time.
Unbelievable.
He drops back, throws a beautiful rainbow pass to the left-hand corner of the end zone, Garrett Wilson for a touchdown with a beautiful one-handed catch. Easily the best catch this season.
Absolutely.
I don't even think it's close.
Wow.
I don't even think you could pick 5 plays, add them all together, and say it's even the same ballpark. In my opinion, my personal opinion, this play is better than Odell's catch. There's a couple reasons for that I'd go into, but this isn't that type of a time, and we can talk about that later. I'm not sure it'll be as iconic one day just because of the fact he's kind of the second time we've seen it, right?
Yeah.
But it definitely will be remembered for many years to come. And finishing it off, still with the Jets. Oh, man, Jets. Jets, Jets. Malachi Corley of the Jets takes an end around all the way to the house, or so we thought. He fumbled it at the 1-yard line right before he crossed the goal line. I'm going to be honest with you. Deshaun Jackson did this when he was at Cal.
Hold that ball.
Gotta love that college football down there in Cal, baby. And it absolutely blows my mind that you could do something this dumb. This dumb. Golden
level.
rule for wide receivers, running backs, and anyone who ever carries the ball from now on out. At least be 3 yards in the end zone before you drop the dadgum ball. I mean, I don't know how many times we got to see football players do this, but it is ridiculous that you would even let this happen.
No, at this level, no way.
Yeah.
You cannot let that happen.
That's it, man. That's the place for the week. We're a little short-listed, but man, I tell you what, Randy, not only did we see maybe the greatest catch of all time this week, we saw maybe the greatest run partially, maybe section of
in
run.
1 week.
In 1 week.
Yeah.
Man.
2 unbelievable plays.
Yes. I think the only way you could see the Saquon Barkley play being better is if he lands after the backwards hurdle
In the end zone.
and then turns around and somehow scores.
Yeah.
I think you'd still have to do more than that to make it the greatest run of all time because Marshawn Lynch's Beast Quake, it'd be pretty hard to beat that.
Yeah, but at least he saw people when they were coming at him.
Yeah, that's true.
Barkley turns. That was the athleticism. Beast mode was more impressive because he scores in the moment that he was doing it. But and he was running over people. But from an athletic standpoint,
I mean,
that was awesome. That was awesome.
That is
was
pure athleticism.
So I want to share about a situation that came up. So a couple weeks ago, we've talked about this before, but a couple weeks ago we had Dwayne Wade's statue was revealed.
Yep.
And it was horrible. And they do everything they can to try to justify, oh no, it looks good. If you look at this angle from down below on the corner side, you can actually tell that maybe it's Dwayne Wade. And okay, great. His arms look good, but the face is kind of an important aspect. It's a horrific statue.
Yeah.
The guy that did it is who Dwayne Wade wanted and is famous. It's okay to be famous, and it's also okay to say you stunk. But here's the thing that I thought was funny. In the college football game, Columbia versus Yale, this is awesome. They're kicking a field goal. The away team is kicking a field goal. And what do they put on the Jumbotron right behind the goalpost? A giant picture of the statue of Dwayne Wade. What an awesome distraction. And I just thought that, to me, was my moment of the week that I could not stop laughing when I watched that.
Listen, I did not see this, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pulling it up right now.
Well, you pull it up now. We will have it on the podcast. It is awesome. It is awesome. So I've seen things before where they'll show pictures of girls in bikinis. I've seen different things. This is just a picture of the statue that they're defending, and it's horrific.
That's fantastic.
It is great. It is great. So speaking of the NBA.
Yep. Talk to me.
I want to hear from our resident Miami fan. Who do you think will be in the finals and who will win the finals? Since the NBA is up and running, Bronny is dominating out in LA with virtually no points, but he does work really hard. I've heard some really good things about his work ethic, which is good. But who do you think is going to win in the end?
Well, let's be honest, Randy. It's the Miami Heat, or at least going to make it. No, we're looking at a down year this year.
Okay.
No, you never know. With that, I don't even want to count the Miami. I don't even want to count them out, but I also don't want to count them in.
Yeah.
That's how odd it is to be a Miami Heat fan in the year 2024.
They got a great coach.
They got a great coach, and they got a guy named Jimmy Buckets.
Yep.
And he just somehow finds a way to make it through the playoffs. Who knows how? But realistically, let's think about this. You know, we got some amazing teams. Oklahoma City Thunder still really young. Mm-hmm. Okay, still really young. It looks like the Vegas polls got them up there right behind the Celtics. I think it's going to be pretty hard for the Celtics not to make it back. And this is why I think it's going to be hard for the Celtics not to make it back. It's not because I think they're that talented. It's one, they play in the worst division, right?
Yep.
And two, they also now have the mentality that we are winners, which I think was a huge thing for them in the past.
Yep.
I think they now can say, all right, we're winners. We know how to do this, and we play in a terrible league.
Right.
And then, boom, there you go. Bob's your uncle. Boston Celtics are going back. To be honest with you, out of personal wants and necessities, what I would love to see is I'd really love to see the Timberwolves go. Mm-hmm. I think they have the talent to go. Mm-hmm. I think Anthony Edwards has proved on multiple occasions that not only was he the guy in Minnesota, he was the guy on the USA basketball team. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you watched any of the documentaries with him involved, but it's hilarious. He is a character upon all characters. And let me tell you, if he can even compete closely at the level of a Michael Jordan or a Kobe Bryant, not saying to be them, but even compete at their level, I think that he will be the next face of the league for at least another 10 to 20.
He has the confidence. He went in, was coming off the bench in the Olympics, and was saying, "I'm the guy that we need to run the offense through."
He has the mentality,
he does,
and the likableness, because that's what that. Okay, so let's go over that. What makes Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant so popular in the NBA? It's the fact that they have this mentality that they can do anything and beat anyone on any day. Okay, and
no fear.
But they also have somehow this amazing likableness, right? Most people can't have both. It's so hard to have both. You either like somebody or they have a Mamba mentality. It's not usually both, right? But they both do, and I think he has that. So I guess in my outward opinion is if he can find a way to even compete closely at the level of those guys in the next 5 years, I think he will be the face of the league for a while.
So do you have them going against the Celtics?
I'm gonna go ahead and say I have Timberwolves going, and I'm gonna have the Boston Celtics repeating.
So I hate saying it, but the Celtics team is really good, and I think the thing that's also going to help them is Jason Tatum finally in the NBA Finals stepped up and played well, and I think he's going to feel like he's at a different level. And then he was also shamed in the Olympics, and I think there is something that's going to and I think he wants to show I'm a 2-time champion. Screw you, Steve Kerr, for what you did. I'm the guy, and I think that extra motivation is going to help him. Yeah. So I can easily see that.
Think about how less worked they are going to be when they get there too.
Yeah.
Like every other team in the West is going to be just fighting tooth and nail.
It makes such a difference to have a nice road to the championship.
They're going to be fighting tooth and nail, and
it makes a big difference.
We're going to look back and go, wow, they had to work so much harder to get there.
But where do you have the Nuggets? Do you think they're going to have a chance?
Oh, the Nuggets, they for sure have a chance. Yep. I think in no way, shape, or form are they out of this conversation. I would say realistically, you're probably going to see Oklahoma, Minnesota, Dallas, and Denver all at the end.
That's the 4 that I would say.
I think you're going to see all 4 of those. And just to be 100% realistic, I think it could be all 4 of those guys.
Yeah.
They all could have a chance to make it to the finals. As far as the East, I think Boston is going to win it and pretty easily, but I wouldn't sleep on the Knicks. And I wouldn't sleep on the Pacers. And I know the Pacers is kind of an odd pull. But
they had a great year last year.
They had a great year last year. They were young. They're going to get a little bit older, 1 year older, and they can build on what they built on last year. So I wouldn't sleep on that.
Yep. Good picks. So now going in, we're at week 10.
Yep.
we've got some. I mean, this is a stretch that is really going to start separating some teams. So where we're at in the standings, by the way, remarkable that we are at week 10. You went 3-1, so you won the week. But overall, I myself is 22-14. Drew is 22-14 this far in, and Trent, who has joined us. I'm sorry, it's 16. I'm sorry, I'm 24-16. Drew's 24-16, and Trent came out of nowhere, rose from the ground. He thought he was over. We were almost like, what do we do? How do we keep Trent engaged in this? And he has gone on a winning streak, and it is 24-16 for you. We have a 3-way tie at first, and then the poor guy that was cocky that is not able to join us today has faltered a little bit. Not far behind, but 22-18. Is Cameron. So
I've learned though there's a comeback story.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We saw it with you, and so anything can happen. But we got 4 games we're picking. We're gonna start off Bengals versus Ravens. Who do you got, Trent, in the first game?
The Ravens. Tough. The Ravens just won, right?
No, they just had a. Was it this week they just lost to the Browns? Man. Or it might have been the week before.
No, they just smoked the Broncos.
Yes. They just, that's right. They absolutely destroyed the Broncos the week before they lost to the Browns.
But it's interdivision. Gosh darn it. Who did the Bengals just beat?
So, and the Bengals are a hard team to figure out. They
just won.
They are my sneaky
41-24. So they put the smackdown on the Raiders, and the Ravens put the smackdown on the Broncos.
Yeah,
and now they're gonna play. Gosh darn it.
Yep.
Oh man. Listen, I'm gonna start by first of all saying this Bengals defense is gonna get absolutely whiplashed by Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. If you thought Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley put up a big day,
yeah. Do you want me to make my pick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll go first.
All right.
I'm going with the Ravens.
Okay, I'm going to join you. I'm going Ravens.
Ravens.
I'm not willing to listen.
I was close.
I like Joe Burrow in this offense. I just hate their defense.
This is also in at M&T Bank, so it's in Baltimore. So.
You know what's crazy though?
And I've been there. I was in that stadium, and it is loud and it is proud.
Let me tell you something that's going to blow your mind. Their defensive end, Chase Hendricks, leads the league in sacks right now.
Yeah, he's impressive. And the rest of their defense...
Yet the rest of their defense is so bad that their offense can score almost 40 points a game every game,
I think,
and still lose.
One thing that's hard... Stats can have some misleading, but he is a stud. We talked about him in the preseason, that he's a main player. But they've also been behind by a bunch, so you have a little more opportunities.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they've had a few leads. I don't know. I mean, I wonder if the Bengals will make a run. This is a huge game for them because they have a chance for the playoffs. They really do. If they win this game, they'll be in a really good position. I was looking at the AFC, and difference between like 6 and 8 and 7 make it or whatever. They are right in that cusp. There's a bunch of lower teams, and so big week for them. But okay, we're both there. Drew is going to be making his picks, and Drew is making a pick right now, and it is the Ravens. The Ravens. So we are all the Ravens. Let's go with number 2. Next game. This is going to be a good one.
Oh goodness.
49ers versus the Bucs. This is a good game. It is in Tampa Bay.
Dang it.
And before we make this pick, I just want to say, so it just came out. Well, we've known this, but something sad that's happened is Charvarius Ward. He loses his 1-year-old child. I cannot imagine what he is going through right now. And I wonder, his year has not been as good as it has been in previous years. It's not been horrible, but he has not been himself. And I don't know. My assumption is he's been dealing with some medical concerns for a little while. And to lose a child, I cannot imagine it. It just came out that he is going to step away for a little bit from the 49ers, and I absolutely say take as much time as you want. This will be obviously a hard loss for the 49ers. They've been decimated with injuries, but more importantly, these are human beings. And Charvarius, I hope you can be able to be with your family and find the peace you need. So, but that being said, in this game that we're talking about, so the 49ers will be without their number one cornerback. We don't know if CMC will be back or not.
Run CMC.
You're still without Hargrave. You're still without Greenlaw for a little while. Huff, your safety, still out. It's a lot on defense to be missing. You've got no Ayuk on offense. And then you've got the Bucks don't have their top two receivers, so they might not have as many people out, but they have those are key players.
You guys are coming off a bye though.
Yep, the 49ers are coming off a bye.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
The only thing that sucks, the last time we saw you guys play was a 30-24 win versus the Cowboys.
Yes, we won though.
You won,
and the Cowboys aren't very good.
It was close, though.
It was close.
Man,
it was a tough game, and in Tampa Bay.
No, I don't know. I'm taking the 49ers. Give me the 49ers.
Boy, this is a really.
No, you're not going to actually go against the 49ers, are you?
No, I'm not. I will say this: if this was weeks 1 through maybe 5, I probably would.
Oh yeah.
Kyle Shanahan's had a history where they've fallen behind in their mid to late season is when they play their best football.
Yeah.
And so even though they're decimated, I'm gonna pick them to win this game.
Yeah.
So
even if CMC doesn't come back, I feel like sadly this Tampa Bay team's just as decimated. The only thing that Tampa Bay is doing right now that is absolutely elite is their defensive line. Their front seven is nasty.
Yeah,
that is a group of players that you do not want to mess with.
Nope. And it'll be interesting to see how the quarterbacks play because they both had some really good moments, and they also both sometimes have had some rough moments. So,
for sure. Absolutely.
We'll see. And both tight ends are playing really good. That's one thing the quarterbacks have been relying on is their quarterbacks. Okay. And
good old Cade Otton out of University of Washington.
He is playing well. And so we'll see how they do. And we got Drew is also picking the 49ers. So we'll get Cameron's picks later. So he's not able to join us possibly for the next couple of weeks with some other commitments that he's making. But we have now a great
Go Birds
NFC East matchup.
Go
Eagles versus Cowboys. You've got the Birds. What are we doing? Are we going to pick the same every time? Absolutely, the Eagles. Eagles have 2 losses. I don't think the Cowboys have played 2 good games. So I am going.
Listen, let me just talk it over.
Yes.
Just to make sure I'm really committed here. Actually, Go Birds.
Yeah.
No, here's the deal.
Way.
Here's the deal.
You are not picking the Cowboys. We know that. It's not going to happen.
Just to show respect to my good friend Grant Peltzer, okay?
Yep. And Troy.
Because I respect Grant a lot, I'm going to break this down for why the Eagles are going to win, because I do think that they could lose. It's a possibility.
Oh, sure.
It is in Jerry World. Dak Prescott is not playing, so their backup, Cooper Rush, will be the starting quarterback. Now, Cooper Rush did go 5-1.
Where is Trey Lance? Where's my number 3 pick? We gave up 25 picks for him.
Yeah. He
Play Trey.
He came and started on the Cowboys.
Play Trey Lance.
I wish they would. I mean, why wouldn't they?
More fun.
Why wouldn't they give that kid a chance?
Give him a chance.
Well, it doesn't matter now because they gave Dak millions of dollars.
Yeah, but still give him a chance.
Oh, man. That's unfortunate. Here's the deal. I honestly think that this matchup, no matter what, could be scary in the past because CeeDee Lamb was that guy. Yeah. But we talked about it earlier. I feel like there's not that same level of swagger that he was playing with earlier. And then 2, Quinyon Mitchell, I think he is a bona fide, guaranteed lockdown corner in this league.
That's an awesome pick. That's great. He's done well.
And I think he'll do a great job. I think he'll do a great job. CeeDee Lamb, I think he does have some sort of ankle soreness that he's still dealing with, so I don't even know if he'll play. But Cooper Rush is going to play for Dak Prescott, and he won 5 out of 6 games, so he's not a slouch. He could go out there and do a good job.
The Eagles win this game, and you look in the first 5-6 games, they didn't look that great. And here they are that late in the season, 2 losses.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is great.
And we're trending the right direction.
Yes, you're playing better.
I think people have a misunderstanding about playing at a hot level and in the NFL. And here's the thing, is you can peak in the NFL too early.
Absolutely. I wonder if the Vikings have done that or not. I'm interested to see
People are really
forward.
nervous about the Lions.
Yeah.
The Lions, because the Lions have been at a peak for a long time.
Yeah.
It is really hard to win football games that way for a multitude of weeks.
Yeah.
Anyways, so, I'm not saying that the Lions are peaking and they're going to have a bad postseason. I'm just saying that's a concern that other people may have.
This is just the time that I would be normally picking the Chiefs to be playing because they're always fortunate. Whoever they play is decimated.
Yep.
This is a good time for the Eagles to be playing the Cowboys.
Yes,
I think they'd beat them
absolutely.
straight up anyway. But if you're going to go on the road and you don't have your top weapons at full strength or playing, good for them.
It might be a good game. Listen, here's the deal. We have never swept the Cowboys in both games in the division
This is your best
since
chance.
I've been an Eagles fan.
This is your best chance.
Yeah.
You have a good chance. No Micah,
No Micah,
no Dak,
no Dak,
and
possibly no CD.
they don't have anybody else.
No
Lawrence. I don't think he's back.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So let's move on to the last game since we're picking those. Let's see. Drew, Eagles versus Cowboys behind the scenes. He is doing fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Okay. So we are all on the same page right now. So,
hey, I do want to tell you this. Did you know that Drew's got a lucky watch for the Eagles?
no, I did not know that.
He's been wearing this watch, and every time he wears the watch, the Eagles win.
Okay, if the 49ers and Eagles play, you need to get rid of that watch. I don't know. The 49ers have to make it first. Okay, last game, we got Steelers, Commanders. I'll go. You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first, because I think mine's going to be a hot take.
So I am going Commanders.
Oh, yeah, mine's going to be a hot take.
Yep, I'm going Commanders. And the Steelers, I just don't know how long this Russell Wilson. I hope it lasts for him. I'd like to see him do well, and I'd like our buddy Craig Dodds, who's been on this show. I'd love to see it for him, but I think the Commanders are going to do it, and it's in Washington, and that is with some of these games that are back and forth could go either way. I'm going with the home team.
Randy, I think you forget.
Yeah,
Washington, D.C. is just down the road.
It is, but it's still
opposite
gonna
side
be
of
red
Pennsylvania.
And yellow. It's not far away. That's for sure. That's true.
Yeah, honestly, this is probably a bad idea. And I'm getting a little too big for my britches over here.
Are you going for the lead? Are you
going for the lead here, Randy? I'm going for the lead. No, honestly, this is my theory. Okay, my theory is the thing that Washington is doing at a very elite level right now is their offense. And the thing that the Steelers are doing at a very elite level is their defense. Yeah. I think that's where the game's going to be decided. It probably won't be decided between Russell Wilson and the Washington defense.
Yeah.
That being said, I think this Steelers defense does 2 things very well. 1, get after the quarterback, and 2, they have great linebacker play. And when you have a running quarterback like a Jaden Daniels, you're going to need what? You're going to need guys to get after him, and you're going to need guys to get him after he gets out of the pocket. That's your linebackers. I think this Steelers defense, I think it is a really good match for this Washington Commanders.
Okay,
offense.
But I need Daniels is athletic.
He's an athlete. He's a freak of nature.
And he's got a cannon, as you see on the Hail Mary, which was crazy, and a hilarious play to be cocky, have a cornerback that's cocky and taunting the crowd, not paying attention. When the game starts, the play starts, he's not even looking.
Yep.
Then he runs over, tips the ball in the air to the wrong team. That being said, how can you be that athletic in Daniels and not be able to slide? How can you have two opposites like that?
Was that just bothering you?
Yes, I don't get it. I don't. You watch him play, and you're like, that is a stud.
No, his sliding it looks painful.
Try to sit down, and he can't.
He can't. He can't do it.
It's like an older person.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I'm trying to get it down a big step or something. He's like,
he's one of the few people that you might say, no, it's just better to take the hit.
Yeah.
Because his sliding almost looks dangerous to his own body.
He's gonna hurt himself on an uncontested slide.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't understand it.
It is incredible.
It really is. It's like anyway, that's mind-boggling. So I don't know.
He had one slide where I swore he broke his collarbone.
Yeah, he I don't want to say, I don't want to wish him bad, but he is going to get hurt because he tries to slide and he actually puts himself more in danger because of that. I really believe that's going to happen. Yeah. And I hope it doesn't.
I do want to say, as hard as I am on the Commanders and as hard as I will be on Jayden Daniels throughout the season just because they're in the same division as the Eagles, he seems like a great kid. And he seems like he will. I hope the best for him because he seems like an awesome dude, and he really has put in the work, put in the effort. He's got a great mentality about him. Really came to the league, wanted to beat C.J. Stroud's records from his freshman year in the NFL, and I think he's doing really good at that right now.
Ayuk really wanted to go there. They're like close friends. Played some college ball together, and. I wish the 49ers would have traded.
Yeah, that would have been a good deal for the 49ers.
But Daniel's slide, it's really not hard. This is $1 billion industry, the NFL. Somebody has got to be able to take you and teach you what we taught in Coach Pitch.
Yeah.
Slide.
Yeah.
Okay, not roll, not meander, not stumble, slide.
Yep.
All right. So that's that. That is a wrap for the week 10. Our predictions going up. We got we're looking forward to a good week coming up. I think there will be some moments that we'll know here in the next few weeks who are the pretenders.
Yep.
And who's the real deal. And we'll look forward to seeing that. It was election week, and it's just nice sometimes, as I know there's a lot of people. There's half of America's excited, half of the people's not. We're not talking that kind of stuff, politics. It's nice to have sports, no matter what, to just sit back and enjoy and kind of get away from everything. And so we will find out going forward who's going to be winning it in 2024. Thanks for joining us. Again, hit the subscribe button. It means a lot to us. Share it. And if anybody knows Freddie Freeman, please show him this. We need to make shirts that say Freddie freaking Freeman. Congratulations to the Dodgers. We'll see you guys next time.